Hi everybody. This is well, this is Eleanor. I'm here. I wanted to talk about pregnancy. Now, I also want to say thank you for joining me today. And if you don't know, now you know I'm pregnant. And the reason why I decided to discuss on this topic of pregnancy is because I've been through it twice and I see like so many people question, like, new mothers and all that, they question what are some of the pain and pleasures of pregnancy. Well, everybody is different. Everybody goes through pregnancy in different manners. There are the first signs of pregnancy where you either start gaining a bunch of weight, eating crazy things, or morning sickness. Now, some people believe morning sickness happens to everybody, when really it doesn't. Morning sickness does not happen to everybody. You can get morning sickness in several different ways. You could just be nauseous, just wake up every single day or go throughout the whole day just feeling nauseous and ill, weak. That's a sign of morning sickness. You could get the, the throw up spells, which I was lucky not to have too much of, where you either throw up from a smell, you throw up from what you eat. My problem was I couldn't take pills. Well, I can't take pills. Um, Pills make me throw up. Like when it goes to the back of my throat, it brings up everything that I ate. And morning sickness is also, a lot of people get confused because the name is morning sickness, but morning sickness does not last only in the morning. You don't have to get it just in the morning. You could feel sick all day long and it'll be a sign of morning sickness. You could feel sick in the evening and not be sick in the day, and that's still considered morning sickness. Why? I guess to make the term easy. um, it is definitely something you deal with throughout your pregnancy if you get it at all. There are some women who don't deal with morning sickness at all. There's some women that go throughout their whole pregnancy and don't feel any sickness. And then there's some women who get sick early on in pregnancy after the first 2 weeks of conception. They'll get sick, um, nausea, vomiting, weakness, lightheadedness, where you feel drained. And you might feel that 2 weeks after conception. You may not feel that until a month to 2 months after conception. And again, you may not feel it at all. Now, another pain in pregnancy, that was my number one pain, is morning sickness. Number two pain comes with pregnancy is as you gain weight. See, if you have any preconcerned illnesses or health issues or disabilities or anything like that, like my problem is before my second pregnancy, which I'm on right now, I did get into 3 car accidents and it left me with a spinal injury. So in order to take the pain away from my spinal injury, I had to work out a lot and, eat healthy and try to maintain my average weight of between 135 to 145. Now that I'm pregnant, I gained so far at least 25 pounds or 30 pounds since then, and it caused significant damage to my spine. Well, not like damage, but pain damage wise. So now, every day, my back is in pain thanks to my spinal injuries. And the way I reconcile with that is I stretch and I try not to do too much that puts strain on my back. So it's it's a very, very difficult pain to deal with, because there's times where I don't want to move at all, because when I move I get this sharp shooting pain going down my leg, shooting down my spine. There's times where I won't be doing anything at all, and then I'll start feeling intense throbbing pains going throughout my entire spinal cord, spreading out throughout my back. And I know it's due to the weight gain, which a lot of pain comes from weight gain. A lot of people don't realize that, and it's not just in pregnancy. Our body naturally, as everybody knows of BIM, I mean body mass index, which means that every specific weight and height of a person, every height of a person has a specific body mass that they should be in line with. If you're 5'7", you shouldn't weigh more than 150. If you're 5'5", your BMI might be, you should be, I believe it's like 140, 135. Like, because once you overseed those weights, they consider you as overweight, because for your height your weight should be a certain stature. And the reason why that's so important is because our body is designed to stay in shape. So once we get out of shape, then that's when we'll start feeling all the strains. We'll start feeling tired, weak, aches and pains in our body because of all the extra weight that we are putting onto our bones. Remember, gravity already weighs us down. So we gotta stay strong and stay fit to fight against gravity. And the more you weigh, the more weight is weighing down on you from gravity. And that puts a lot of pain on your body, especially your muscles and your bones and your joints and all that, which is why so many Americans have so many joint pains and so many, pains in their body, because they don't understand the importance of maintaining your weight and eating healthy and right foods. Now, another pain that comes with pregnancy, besides those pains that's gained from weight, another weight gain is you could end up getting a lot of pain in your knees. You can get pain in your feet. A lot of women, they wind up, luckily I'm not one of them, a lot of women, they wind up getting water weight in their feet, where their feet and their ankles start swelling up. And that hurts. It does not feel good. It feels like your feet are literally like they're bruised, like they're swollen. And it's hard to put your shoes on. It's hard to put socks on because they feel tight. And it's just horrible. And people don't realize, but a lot of that comes from what you eat. If you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of starch, a lot of yeast, it puts a lot of water weight on you. So that's just a little tidbit for you pregnant women out there. Try your best to cut back on the sugar. I know it's hard, because my pregnancy, oh my God, I crave so much sugar at times. It's really hard. But what I try to substitute with is fruit. Try and eat a lot of fruit, because fruit cleans your system out. It cleans it out. You eat fruit and it'll make you pee. Talk about pee. It makes you pee a lot. A lot. And I'll get onto that in a little bit. But another pain, besides water weight and joint and bone pains due to pre-injuries that are just coming back at you, hitting you in the butt due to weight gain, is as your belly stretches. As the baby grows inside of you, you will feel it. And it is crazy. It's I think it's super cool. How I like to say it is, it feels like there's a parasitic organism expanding within me, draining me of all my energy and hurting me from the inside. because it does. That's exactly what it feels like. But I also, as I think it is so cool because this parasitic organism is my creation, me and my husband's creation, Joseph Curtis. So it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing knowing that my body is creating and producing and nourishing this creature, because that's what we all are. That's what it is. It's a creature. We all are creatures. We're all organisms. We're all, you know, animals in a sense. But this creature that's growing inside of me is of our creation, and it is amazing. But the way it feels is like there's an alien in me trying to get out. The first couple of months, it feels like what I felt. And I also got to say, my first pregnancy, I had a C-section, so I have like scar tissue and like my everything that healed up. But it's been 7 years, so you would think it would have been totally healed, but you know, it's still super sore in there. And not just that, scar tissue, scar tissue doesn't feel like regular tissue. It's thicker than your regular tissue. It's really hard to explain, but scar tissue is not the same as your regular tissues. It's thicker, it's more sensitive, and it's a lot harder to tear through. So, as my belly stretches, it stretches out the scar tissue, and I feel the tearing. I feel the pulling of it. And in my early stages of pregnancy, I would get a lot of I would feel a lot of pain, like stabbing pains in my right by my pelvic bone. I'd feel a lot of like stabbing pains, like it would feel like needles or like needles or knives stabbing me in my tubes or something like that. I got a lot of those pains. And I also didn't feel very hungry a lot until like my second and third month. Second, third, fourth month of pregnancy was when the hunger really started hitting me. But first I felt a lot of pain. I felt a lot of pain in my stomach, and it was really weird. Like, I'd go to the doctors and all that, and they would tell me that it was just stretching pains. So that's something to look forward to when you're being pregnant. Again, not everybody goes through these pains. Everybody's body is different. But this is something I went through. I went through a lot of stretching pains. And now, as I am on going on to my third trimester, I feel the baby a whole lot more. Now my son, it's a boy as well. His name is Elijah. We're naming him. And I feel him a lot more now. I can feel him moving, stretching, turning, pushing, and it causes a lot more pain on my stomach and my back, to where every time he moves, you don't get over the uncomfortableness of it. It's super uncomfortable. And every time he moves, it feels like you can feel the expansion of the belly. It feels like my stomach, like if you hold your breath, if you breathe in and you push your muscles out and you try and stick your stomach out as strong as you can, it feels like that, except it's being forced. And it's probably tenfold. Like your stomach is just being forced outward, like almost like something's about to explode. And it does not feel good at all. It's not very enjoyable. But again, it's one of the pains of pregnancy. And if you're eating right, if you're eating well, healthy and all that, you won't gain too much weight. So you won't have to worry too much about all these extra pains and all that, because your body is only going to give you the pains that are necessary. And if you eat a lot of bad food and you gain a lot of extra water weight, that's going to cause a lot more pain on your body, because it's not just it's not just what's the word I'm looking for? It's not just giving, it's not just, I can't even think of the words right now, I'm sorry. But basically, if you gain more weight than is needed for the baby, then you're going to feel more pain, because the pain comes from your weight. So those are some of the pain. Oh, and let me get into some more pains. Okay, those are two of the pains. You know, you got morning sickness, you got weight gain pain. Now, another pain is exhaustion. The baby drains your nutrients and all that. So if you're not eating right and you're not taking in enough nutrients, or even if you are, you may still feel exhausted all the time. My sleep regulates on how the baby sleeps. And I say that because when he's awake, he keeps me awake due to the pain of him moving around and growing. As he grows, causes a bunch of scratching pain. As he moves, it causes a bunch of pain, as if like he's beating up my organs, like he's playing the drums or something up in there. It's going crazy. So I get a lot of pain when he is awake. So I don't get much sleep at night anymore. Not just that, every time he moves, I have to go pee. Every single time he moves, I have to go pee. So I literally pee almost like 100 times a day. And I probably get about, at night, 4 hours sleep, and then I take a nap during the day sometimes, if I'm able to, or I'll just wake up in the morning and then wind up napping in the morning sometimes. Sometimes I'll be up all night going to the bathroom, sitting up because of how much pain I'm in with my back and the baby stretching, that I don't get to sleep until like 6 in the morning, 3 to 6 in the morning, and then I'll be sleeping till like 1 in the afternoon. But these are things to be expected when you're pregnant. Remember, your equilibrium is off. Everything is out of whack, out of balance. And it's going in balance, in sequence with the embryo, with the baby that's growing inside of you. So those are the three pains. Sleep, because when you're tired, it causes headaches, it causes you to get a lot more body pains and all of that. Like when I'm extremely exhausted, where I get like no sleep at all, my whole body hurts and I can't move off the couch. And it sucks because it happens a lot. So those are the pains. Now the pleasures of pregnancy. The pleasures of pregnancy, as we all know, are, for one, our baby. The fact that we are creating our own image, we're creating a child in our image. It's amazing. It's pleasurable to know that you are creator now. Like, this is our creation. We are creating this baby within us. We're the carrier. And without us, this baby would never have come along. And that's amazing, and it makes you feel so good. It gives you a new sense of reality. It gives you a new concept in life. Like, now my life is about taking care of this baby. or my other son. They give you purpose. They give you reasoning. You know, they help you understand. They give you a new insight on life. Because now you have to see, like, as you're raising a child, you can't just look at things for yourself. There's no longer just you. Now it's your baby. Now you have to look at things for your baby. And a lot of parents get this, like, a lot of parents I see don't understand how important it is to try and teach the children that you bore in a manner of not just looking at it through your eyes. You have to look at life through their eyes in order to teach them. When a child is growing up and learning, they don't know everything. They don't know nothing. They only know what you tell them. So now you literally have to explain in detail every little thing about life. What is a leaf? What are trees? What is colors? What is happy? What is sad? What is good? What is bad? What is right? What is wrong? You know, you have to explain in detail every little thing, and you have to give them a chance to understand, learn, and learn it. You can't just tell them at one time and expect them to know it, because that don't work like that at all. It don't work like that at all. That would be really nice if you could just tell them one time and then they grasp the concept. But no, that does not happen. I have to explain things to my 7-year-old son at least 5 times before he grasps the concept. And even then, like when we're doing story time, it's like he'll just sit there and just stare. And it's like he's in his own little world, because you got to understand, their imagination is going crazy too. So they can be staring at you and not even be listening to anything you're saying. So you have to make sure that you're constantly grasping their attention. Like, it is fun. It is tedious. And I say thank you, teachers out there, because it is not easy work teaching children. But that is a mother's job. And fathers. It's our jobs to teach our babies, and that is the pleasure of life, is to give life and to watch it grow and become whatever it is that you hope for it to become. They may come out worse, they may come out better, but the point is that you tried, that you did what you could do to teach them to be who they are, or whoever they want to be. Another pleasure about being pregnant is that, you know, your nails grow, your hair grows, your skin glows. You can eat as much as much healthy food as you want, because you don't want to go binge eating on those snacks and junk food and all that stuff that's just gonna hurt you. You can eat all you want and not have to worry about gaining too much weight, because you're already gaining a bunch of weight. Just make sure, you eat right, so that way you don't gain a bunch of water weight, or a bunch of, that extra no good weight. Another pleasure is getting to feel, because a lot people don't understand, a lot of women out there can't have kids. So it is a pleasure to feel these pains that we feel in the conception of life. That is another pleasure, that we get to feel this, because it is amazing to feel this baby growing inside of me. So I find that to be another pleasure. And there's something else I wanted to add. It's not easy. It's really not. It's very scary. It's very scary. I mean, for one, when you become pregnant, when you're through pregnancy and all that, it's scary, because both of your life is on the line and your baby's life is on the line. throughout your whole pregnancy, really, because yeah, we have modern medicine and all that today, but if something happens to your baby, God forbid it, but if anything happens to your baby, it could harm you internally, especially if you don't notice it. Like if you have a miscarriage and you don't realize you have a miscarriage and the baby fetus just dies inside of your uterus and it they don't get it out, you could wind up getting poisoned from the fetus, from the deceased fetus inside you. It could poison your blood. Um, another issue is well, for one, the fear of your baby dying at all. That is my biggest fear. Like anything happened to my baby. For one, you'll probably feel the pain. And that's what scares me because every single day I feel pain and all that. I feel the baby moving and it hurts when the baby moves and all that. So every day I'm just a little shaken. But the fact that he's moving every single day lessens my fears and makes me feel happy because if he's moving, that means he's alive. And that's what I want. I want him to be alive and good. But what scares me also is, you know, the him moving to the point where he wraps the umbilical cord around his neck. Or God forbid something happens to the umbilical cord and it comes detached from him. Or God forbid some kind of defect occurs. Like there's so many fears that come into pregnancy as well. And you have to try your best not to focus on these fears. You can't do it. Because when you're afraid, your baby's afraid. Your emotions affect your baby's emotions. So you want to make sure that you're not in a stressful relationship. My first child, I was in a very stressful relationship. And I thank the universe, thank the Lord, thank our spirit, my spirit for protecting my baby, like inside my womb. I thank the Lord, whatever, that my son was born and didn't have any more complications than he did have. Because my son did have complications when it came to being born. I had to have an emergency C-section, and he was stuck in the NICU for 2 weeks. And I know it was due to the fact of my relationship at the time. I was in a very stressful relationship, and a stressful relationship is very dangerous to pregnancy. So you want to make sure that you really want to be as stress-free as possible. And I thank my love now, because now I'm like, the only stress I really have is how much pain my body is in. I don't really have to stress about anything else. Like I don't work at the moment because my man's working at the time being for my pregnancy. I did work in the beginning, but I started having some problems with my pain and all that, and I just couldn't handle being on my feet anymore. So I had to quit my job. And not just that, all the scary factors of the coronavirus. Like, you really don't want to get sick during your pregnancy. Not at all, because, for one, whatever medications you take, your baby takes. And that's very dangerous, because I strongly believe that a lot of birth defects that occur in America today around the world, is due to modern medication. I do believe that the reason why autism and Down syndrome has increased is due to medications that doctors allow pregnant women to take. So I am a strong activist for taking no medication during pregnancy. My pain, I deal with it. The most I'll do is smoke some weed. And you don't have to smoke THC. You can do CBD, you can do THC, depending on whatever state you're in or however you feel about it. You know, you can talk to your doctor about it. That's what I did. And I strongly recommend that you do marijuana rather than modern medicine, because modern medicine has a lot of extra chemicals in it that are really not good for our body. And if it's not good for our body, it's not good for the development of our fetus. And I strongly believe no medicine while you're pregnant. So for my nausea, sickness, my pains, and all of that, I go solo. Nothing. I deal with it. I'll go to sleep. I lay there. I'll cry. I'll have my man rub my back and my tummy, or I'll smoke some trees, or that's it. Because it's a real big fear of something happening to my baby. And I know that what will happen to my baby is whatever I allow to happen to my baby. I know I don't have no autoimmunity that's going to attack my child inside of my belly. We have the same blood, whatever, what is it called? RH. Yeah, we have the same RH. And so we don't got to worry about that. We just got to worry about what we intake. If your doctor says that your baby is healthy, you're good, you don't got to worry about, no autoimmune disease, you don't got to worry about birth defects. Well, that's good. Now you need to keep it that way. In order to keep it that way, you need to maintain a healthy diet. I don't care if your doctor says it's okay for you to take Tylenol. I don't care if your doctor prescribes you antibiotics. I would probably try not to take it. Ask them for an alternative route. Say, well, what else could I do? Because I don't want my baby ingesting that. Say you got a urinary tract infection and they want to give you antibiotics. Say, well, doc, is there anything else that I could take to get rid of this urinary tract infection without having to take antibiotics? Because I don't want to introduce antibiotics to my baby. They could give you alternatives. You could detox. You can apple cider vinegar, eat aloe, and stop your sugar intake. Because a lot of times women don't realize it, but what causes our urinary tract infection is how much sugar we consume. If you're drinking a bunch of soda, you're most likely going to end up getting a urinary tract infection during your pregnancy because of all of that sweet sugar that you're ingesting. So drink lots of water. Drink lots of water if you don't want to get a UTI. Cut back on anything that has high fructose corn syrup in it or artificial flavorings. Try and be as healthy as you can. I'm not saying you got to cut out all your sweets. I can't say that. I didn't. I'm just saying maintain it. Don't overboard. Don't do too much. And if you can, don't do any at all. But thank you guys for joining me. Again, this is Eleanor with Joy Expressions on Ellie's channel. And I hope to see you all, or, leave comments if you want to talk more about a different subject or about this subject. If you have any suggestions for me, or if you have any insight on pregnancy, let's talk about your pregnancy. You can hit me up on Joy Expressions in Facebook, or you can go to my Instagram at EJDTLC, and I'd be more than happy to cohorse with you all. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy New Year, and stay happy. Stay positive, and if you're pregnant, stay healthy. If you're not pregnant, stay healthy too. Bye.